Laugh out loud, it's the place to be, where geeky minds meet so naturally. From pixel legends to blockbuster heart, dive right in, let's set this vibe apart.
Listen, you little punk. You're watching another episode of the BF Show. Do you understand me?
Punk.
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 You know, that just made me think of way back when I worked at a bank on the customer service line. And while I was in training, I got a call. They put me on the live floor, of course, with somebody listening. And I got a call, and I did my greeting, and all I heard on the other line was, "Oh, just stop it, punk." And that was it. That was the whole call.
Did you call that, or did they call you?
Oh, they called us.
Okay, so you were customer service. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude, down.
I did both. I did one where I worked for a company that was supposedly, and I say that because I really don't know what they were doing, but we were supposedly raising money for the police union or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And later I found out that like 85% of the money went to the company I worked for, which is why they gave out such generous bonuses. So I worked there for like 6 months. It literally was a place where like you didn't know who you were going to run into because they hired everybody. So everybody who seemed to be like, between jobs and not on unemployment ended up working there at some point. And then I did get one for customer service for one of the big cable companies out of New York. And I had an issue where it would not let their phone system work through my internet provider.
Mm-hmm.
And they were telling me that they wanted me to upgrade to the internet provider was with Comcast, wanted me to upgrade to a business plan in order for me to work from home. And I was only going to get stipend so much money, and I really didn't want to do the job anyways because I trained for. We did 6 weeks of training or something like that, where all it was just going through exercises with each other and not taking any real calls. So I didn't need the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point I actually did need to use the equipment, and eventually I just sent all the equipment back and quit the job. But during that time, like I was just sitting around at home all day, which I do now, but now I'm on my own pace. There's nothing like holding me to the desk if I want to go for a walk or go drive somewhere. I have that luxury where I could kind of stop my job as long as like I have deadlines to meet, and as long as I meet my deadlines, I'm good.
Yeah.
But with that was like, okay, for 4 hours, I have to sit in this one spot, and I can't do it. I can't do that when I work an office job. I wasn't able to do it there either. Like luckily, most office jobs that I had the luxury where if I had to go and I could stand up and walk around a bit or find a reason to go talk to somebody. Like, oh shoot, I can call them, or I can just run by their office real quick, and they'll just go run by their office because it gives me a reason to get up and walk around.
Yeah.
So.
See, for me, it's I've gotten to the point where I need my music. Just lets the music have it in the background. Because I notice when it's not there now. And I remember when the office was closing for my job and I was going completely remote, one of the person that sat next to me is like the one that used to complain all the time about my music being too loud, said, "Oh, you're gonna miss us when you're gone." I'm thinking, no, I'm not, because now I'm not gonna have anyone complain about my music being too loud, and that's what I need. I need that music. I need that to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, no, music or any kind of sound. That's why I always have the TV running one on here. That was another thing I couldn't do as a customer service rep. I couldn't have the TV running the whole time because I'd be on a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
And that's a good thing about also listening to music that's not in English, is that I don't have to worry about that one song coming on that's just riddled with the F word and be like, oh, I hope this person on the other line isn't hearing my music.
You do gotta worry about it. It's 21 though. They had that one song.
I
No,
don't-
uh, I can't. I mean, we're gonna get in trouble if I say it.
It's okay.
It,
It's
it,
okay.
it was used in the. It was one of their songs that they released as a single in the U.S. It was already a couple of years old in Korea, but they released it here in the U.S. And when it played on the air, they had to mute one of the words because it sounded like the N word, but it was not the N word. It was a Korean word.
Yeah, the thing is, I think it's like saying like you and me or something like that sounds like that word.
It was supposed to be like I am the greatest. So I think
Yeah,
the
yeah,
term I am, like as in I am taking ownership of being the
yeah.
greatest. Um, yeah, I actually used to try to study Korean. Korean, all of those languages are ridiculously hard.
Yeah.
They're all ridiculously hard. Korean's probably one of the easier ones, and it's ridiculously hard. So it's like I should have like studied French or German or something. I would have had more luck.
Well, I don't know if you've heard about this. This is interesting. This is recent. There's a group called Chatsai um that put out a song. I don't know how recently it is. It's probably at least a few months old, if not a little older than that, called Gnarly. And they actually just got busted because in the song, whoever recorded the song took a section, sampled a section from something else, only to find out it's sampled from porn. And it's a woman moaning.
Oh, jeez.
And imagine how that's going to go over in Korea. But then again, the group's really not there.
Who knows, dude? This might give him. This might launch him into infamy. It'll be the Korea's version of Two Live Crew.
Well, they're I don't know how to classify this group because they're not really out of Korea. They're out of like the US. And I believe there are multiple, the members are from different countries, but I believe it's under a Korean label.
Did you remember the slapback when Jaden Smith wanted to become a K-pop artist?
Oh yeah.
He's like, he just says it like he's just gonna do it,
Yeah, exactly.
which is what really pisses them off too. That pisses them off. Like if a rich Korean person went and said, "Yeah, I'm just gonna be a K-pop star," they're gonna be like, they're always like, "Go after yourself," because these people work themselves literally to death.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a hard job.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest jobs in show business, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's right up there. You're constantly working.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There was an article. There was somebody took something from Reddit. I think somebody wrote a story about they had an affair with a K-pop artist. They like met her somewhere, and all of a sudden, like he's staying at her apartment, and she's coming home at all these weird times. And the first thing she wants to do as soon as she comes through the door is fuck. And then she fucks, and as soon as she orgasms, she falls right to sleep, and then she gets up and goes to do another thing for K-pop, and then goes back and repeat the cycle.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And people were like, "Dude, you're so lucky. Who was it? Oh my god!" And he's like, "Well, I'm not saying who it was. Like, I don't want to ruin her reputation." But
I wouldn't really call that even being lucky because you're just seeing the person for just like a short time.
yeah, that's what he said too. He said like the relationship didn't work out, and he's the one who left because all it was that. It was like anytime he wanted to do anything, she would like do it for like a little bit. It'd be like, okay, we can go on like a date, or we can go and hang out for a little bit, but then she would run out of time.
Yeah, and she has all of that hidden too. So you're like this big mystery person that really can't announce anything.
Yeah, yeah, because like these people, they like some of them, they keep this whole thing that they're pure and innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them they just go out and say they're bigger sluts than they are. Like
Well, I don't know if you listen to any of the Blooming News here, but there was a one that I posted on Thursday, the big announcement one that was a lawsuit. And that's kind of related to something we believe to be related to something like that, where there was a guy that the day before this lawsuit appears, he's being pounced. He went on to social media, which he's done in the past about the group, and kind of blasted them. And with the last that big controversy that we talked about, he was a big part of that, being the information getting out or something like that, I believe. But he went out and he put out there something about remember, kids, please use condoms or something so you're safe, just like the one member that that does it all the time. And it was like, and he kept going on saying it was like a hobby of this member. And next day, boom, there's a lawsuit. Now, it hasn't been named as him, but it's a defamation lawsuit, and probably most likely is, because that sparked a little bit of outrage.
Mm.
So, you know.
Well, the record company especially, they're the ones who put all the capital into building the star, and to have like a story like that go out, that's like, there's no bueno to them. They're gonna fight that.
Oh yeah. So, but
Especially in Korea, like people who have never been there, Korea is a very conservative country, and a lot of, I'm sure there's stuff that's going on. Of course there's stuff that's going on, but it's so, like, porn is outlawed. Like, you need a VPN in Korea to watch pornography.
mm-hmm.
So, like, that's unlike, I used to say, like, and this is what I found out, like, they can't show cleavage. Not that there's really much to show, but they can't show cleavage. But they can show as much leg as they want.
Yeah.
So you would have them where they literally are wearing like bikini bottoms and like a hoodie or something, you know. It's like,
That's I believe that's kind of standard in that area, where if you're showing like shoulder and everything like that, it would be viewed the same way as if you're walking around in panties here.
yeah, it's very strange. Like, I literally, when I was there, I just nicknamed it the land of legs, because that's what it was. It was like legs everywhere, like, and mirrors everywhere. Like, you go in the subway, like, why would you need a subway? Why would a subway need a mirror? And I mean, when I say subway, I don't mean the restaurant. I mean like the actual underground infrastructure. Why would you need a mirror? And I actually decided one time, I was waiting for a train, and I like sat there and watched the mirror to see how many people stopped and looked at it. And most of the Koreans who walked by it, like, not like the super majority, but a majority of them stopped and looked.
Mm-hmm.
Checked their hair, checked their makeup, checked their outfit, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was like, you know, it's kind of fascinating. It's just like to see how many people like would stop and look.
Mm-hmm. I didn't notice the mirrors when I was there. I'll have to, next time I actually get there, I'll have to keep an eye out for all the mirrors.
Have you been in the U.S. subway before?
Yes.
Okay, because that was kind of like what I was comparing it on. Like, also in the U.S. subway, you can easily put somebody on the tracks, where in Korea, you have to get creative if you want to throw somebody on the tracks.
Yeah.
So they have it's safer.
Mm-hmm.
It's also just nicer. The subways are just nicer.
Yeah.
I had no problem using the Korean subway. At least I didn't 10 years ago when I was there. Whether or not it's the same today, I don't know. But when I was there last, I loved the subway. I loved it better than driving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, if they had this where I lived, I would just take this.
Yeah. The catch to that, though, is you're only able to go where the subway goes.
That's true, but like, you know, it encourages walking.
Yeah.
You gotta walk that last part of it, unless you're going to the mall. The mall had a direct train stop, but everybody else, like, and when I say the mall, there's a lot of malls in Korea, but there was one called the Coax Mall, and like, to me, like, that was the mall, because it was a built-in convention center, so it was just a huge complex. In fact, you had to walk through the convention center to get to the mall, depending on what entrance you took, I think.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to Seoul Tower at all?
I think I did.
It's on the top of a hill. You can either take a gondola or take a bunch of.
I took the gondola. Is that the one where it's on the cables and it goes up the cables?
Yes.
Yeah, I took that.
Okay. So
I video of me taking that, and then, you know what, I swear I laughed when I saw this. I get up to the top, and there's stores.
Yeah.
The same stores you would find anywhere else in Seoul.
Mhm. I got a story about the Seoul Tower because you going up the gondola, so you saw the steps, okay?
Yeah.
Um, did you like drive or take a bus or something up to the gondola? Because it's on
No, I walked there. I think I walked there. I was supposed to be meeting up with my buddy from California, whose name escaped me right now, which is probably for the best. But I was supposed to meet him there, and then he was running insanely late. And I'm like, I literally went and said, fuck it. I want to go up to go see the Seoul Tower. I'm just going to go up to see it, and he can wait for me. So I went and I did that. And then when I came back, I was still waiting another 20 minutes for him. So,
So you know how much hiking there is to get to the gondola.
yes.
Probably. Okay. So that's all from I believe it's the Myeongdong station. So there's there's Seoul station, there's a station between, and then there's Myeongdong. On my first trip, I actually stayed in Myeongdong. So I walked up the hill, I took the gondola up. I decided to take the stairs down, and that became one of the regrets I had was that I took the gondola up. So on my second trip, I was doing a lot of things that I regretted not doing on the first one.
No, sure.
Here's the story because this is great. The second time I went, I didn't stay in Myeongdong. I stayed in that station between Myeongdong and Seoul. Okay, so the Seoul station.
Yep.
I decided, okay, today I'm going to walk from where I am, the station, to Myeongdong, walk up the hill, and then take the stairs to the top of Seoul Tower. I started my journey, and I took a turn. I kept walking, and I ran into Seoul Station. So I walked the wrong way.
Oh, jeez.
So then I turned around and I walked back all the way to Myeongdong. I then started walking up that hill, and about halfway up, there was a coffee shop. I walked in and asked for some water. And then I just continued walking up to where the stairs were. Then I took the stairs all the way up to Seoul Tower. So really the only stop that I did was to get that water, and I wasn't even stopped for that long. So I got to the top of the stairs finally. Dude, my shirt was just pouring sweaty all down it. I'm looking at the store and I see there's an ice cream store, which I mean I knew there was gonna be like an ice cream store because I was there a couple years before. So I'm like, I know when I get up the top, I'm gonna have ice cream. So I went to the ice cream store and I asked for, a cone of ice cream, and they say it's a buy one, get one free day. So yes, I did. I got 2 ice cream cones. I'm sitting there with one in each hand, and I eat both of them, looking totally like an American, a fat American eating both my ice creams. Orange.
Oh, is that the American, huh?
Yep. And I was proud because I had my ice cream and I did that quest. And actually, the way back on the way back down, there was this guy and this lady, and I got about 3/4 of the way down, so they're 1/4 of the way up, and she was already like, "How much further do we have?" And I'm sitting there going, "Oh, you got a hard life ahead of you right now."
I went, I used the gondola on the way up and on the way down. And I, yeah, it was, I'm kind of glad I did. Probably the way up would have been easier than doing the way down, because the way down you were constantly fighting gravity. I did so much walking there. Anytime I was able to take a shortcut and not have to walk, I took it,
Mhm.
because all I was doing was walking or taking public transportation, and it's just a ton of walking. Same thing when I go to Europe, it's just a ton of walking.
Oh yeah, I do the same with Japan. I do a ton of walking. I actually walked for 3 hours straight one time in Japan.
So what district was that in?
I was in Osaka. I walked from.
Oh, no, it's Seoul.
What's that?
What district were you in Seoul? Which part of the city?
I don't know. I was on the line that was between. I was in the station on the line between Seoul Station and Myeongdong.
Oh, okay.
It was like it starts with an H. I think was the name of the station.
Okay, I'm looking at a map of the city, both in the split the districts, and I must have remembered the train station names then. I thought I remembered the only one I remember is Gangnam.
Huh.
Which if you go to Gundam, that's where they have that's where all the record companies are.
Mm.
So if you saw any of the Girls' Generation statues or whatever, that's where you were.
Yeah, I see. I didn't go there. Oh, I went there once. That was to meet up with Moon Knight. That only time I got no.
Well, we could talk about K-pop all night, but we do have
Not going to.
yeah, we got movie reviews to do.
Yes. So are you ready to get so this one is going to be my top connections tonight. Now, last time we did this, Ben, you didn't get a chance to say what the two connections were between your movies.
I didn't.
I did. You didn't.
I thought I did. It said that they were both about undercover agents, one for the FBI and I believe one for Massachusetts State Police, but still undercover police officers and inside of organized crime.
Okay. See, I don't remember if we did that after the last episode or not. I know that on the main episode you did say that.
Yours has what's his name? Is his name Michael Caine?
Yeah, one of mine has Mike. Is Michael Caine actually both of them?
He's in both of them.
Connection.
That's not the connection, though. The big connection. That's not the big connect. That'll be set when I'm doing the description of the movie, because literally the both first lines of both parts of my script.
Exactly. So if you're listen closely when he does the synopsis of the movie.
Which one do you want to do first? You want to do them in chronological order?
You will alphabetical order, which is also chronological order.
Works for me.
Okay. All right. So we about ready to start getting this going?
I'm ready when you are. You ready?
All right. Let me share the screen. And ready, set, go.
Excuse me. All right. I was ready to go, and then you stopped. Okay. Inception is a 2010 science fiction action film written and directed by Christopher Nolan. Leonardo DiCaprio stars as Dom Cobb, a skilled thief who specializes in extracting secrets from people's subconscious minds by infiltrating their dreams. Offered a chance to have his criminal record erased, Cobb is tasked with doing the opposite, planting an idea instead of stealing one. This process is known as Inception. Requires a team, multiple dream layers, and a spinning top that may or may not tell the truth. The film featured an ensemble cast including Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Ellen Page, Tom Hardy, and Ken Watanabe. Known for its intricate structure, mind-bending visuals, and pounding Hans Zimmer score, Inception became a critical and commercial hit. It earned over $800 million at the box office and took home 4 Academy Awards. The final shot sparked years of online debate. Wow, I said that with an accent. The final shot sparked years of online debate, as Nolan famously refused to give a definitive answer. This movie was good.
Mm-hmm.
It flew by. I ended up looking at the clock when it was half an hour left, which is cool. I love the whole the way they explain it. The only thing I wanted to find something about the movie to kind of rag on a little bit would be there was no real reason to have Leonardo DiCaprio's character have a backstory. Mm-hmm. They could have just made it all about money, and he's hired to do this job. Everything with the wife was it really necessary?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could say. Other than that, it's an interesting movie. You have to watch it more than once, I think. But even if you just watch it the one time, I think you might find it interesting enough where you like it. But if you watch it a second time and you now have an idea of how the dream thing works, it really helps with understanding and enjoying the film. A lot of the moments where he's at the coffee shop with the girl and he's telling her that she's in a dream, and then all of a sudden all that stuff starts blowing up all over the place, and then they're walking around the city and the city turns into a cube.
Uh-huh.
like those were like mind-bending effects for the day, and they were all computer-generated effects, so it was a big step forward in that in the special effects department. And just people get confused when they watch a movie, and I'm like, yeah, you have to watch it more than once. I had to watch it more than once just because it is a little confusing of how it works. So he's in the dream, who's in the dream, and they're in a dream, and who's dreaming, and it's even watching it this time now. I picked up a few things that I don't know if I picked it up the last time I watched it, but I was like, oh, okay, so they have an architect, and there's somebody who has like, so everybody has a job, and they're there for a particular reason, and
Yeah.
so there's my thoughts.
Okay. So this was my favorite movie of all time, where actually a lot of my favorite movies prior to this were all comedies. So it's kind of weird to have this be now this was my favorite movie. I'm gonna say this was my favorite movie because we'll find out why I'm saying it that way in a bit. What really taught me about this movie, and I didn't have really a problem with following it, but I think there's a reason why I didn't really have that problem and why I gravitate towards this movie so much, why it means so much to me. Basically, these are the dreams I have. This is literally what goes on in my head, like every night when I sleep. Like you think most people are like, yeah, last night I dreamed that 3 Brazilian bikini models came here and I banged all 3 of them. I'm sitting there going, dude, okay, so last night I had a dream that I was a detective and so is my sidekick, and the secret word was
The secret.
cannibal top. And no, I'm serious. I'm really
What's the secret word about though? Was it like at Pee Wee's Playhouse where you say the secret word and everybody goes nuts?
no, and it like unlocks a door that rains like gold, but the problem is I have to stop somebody from getting to that door, and so like my dreams are insane, but they're always some sort of like crime fighting or action based or something like that. And they're just always so bizarre. And I remember some of my dreams when I was a kid. And I say that secret word thing because I literally had a dream where I one part I went up to a guy that was in my school, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to see him break down? Tell him praying Christy." And I walked over to him like, "Hey, dude, praying Christy." And he's like, "Oh no, man, no, don't say that." The next day, I actually went to him and I go, "Hey, does praying Christy mean anything to you?" He looks at me, he's like, "No." But I mean, that's just how my dreams are. And so when I was watching this, I'm going, "Yeah, I totally understand this. I totally get a lot of things." Like the scene you were talking about, the coffee shop. Forget the explosions. Focus on the point where he said, "Do you remember getting here?"
Oh yeah, no, I think that's true.
That's super huge part that I totally understand based off of what goes through my head. So, I mean, that's what I really love about this movie. Now, I do want to bring out, you gotta talk about how awesome the hotel hallway scene was.
Oh yeah, with the rotating room and everything.
Yes, that was so well done.
Yeah, that was another breakthrough. I mean, they've done it before, but they really pushed it. Like,
Yeah. And I've been in situations where I've had dreams within dreams where like
Me too.
I'm dreaming and then I wake up and then I'm like, "Hey, dude, I just had the craziest dream." I'm literally telling somebody about the dream and then I actually do wake up. That's actually happened to me.
I've had that happen to me at least twice.
Yeah, I've had it happen a few times as well too. So when they start talking about the dream within the dream, it's like, wow, this is just wild how much I understand about what they're talking about, and also how time goes within the dream, because a lot of my dreams just feel like they go on for so long, but it's only been a few hours. So I do agree with you though on the part with it was his wife.
Yeah, like if you took that whole story out of that and just replaced it where he's just a hired guy and he's just like, I mean, did they do it because they wanted to give him a reason to do it that didn't involve money to keep him like a
They-
good
they-
guy or whatever?
I think they needed kind of a cause to get to resolution. To give him a reason to kind of stay there, even though he had another reason, like something to kind of hold him back.
They could have used they could have used money still. Money could have still been the it. You could have just said, "I'm offering you," and like the money. If you want to give him like maybe he needs it for someone's surgery, or maybe he is out with his wife. You know, he is on the outs with his wife, and he like give him something smaller. But because of this, the whole movie is him. All of a sudden, he's seeing his kids. His wife keeps showing up constantly in his memories, and it's like it just. If you took that storyline out, you would have took half an hour off the movie and quickened the pace up.
Yeah.
Not that this needed the quicken pace anyways. The movie's really good, but
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the weakest part of the movie.
yes,
But did you get a chance to watch Infernal Affairs yet?
no, I haven't watched it yet.
Okay, so think about that being the weakest part and think about how The Departed has both of them interested in the same woman when you watch Infernal Affairs, because it's not the same.
Yeah,
And I think that's also some sort of like that. Maybe that's something to, that becomes a standard for us to expect type of drama like that within a movie. And maybe that's another reason why we get that rather than something else.
I mean, like the guy's whole profession is going into people's minds and stealing secrets.
Mm-hmm.
Having the guy go and showing him a number, you don't want to say the number out loud because that kind of locks it into a time. But if you go and just have it where he hands him a piece of paper and he looks at the number and he goes, "For this amount of money, you got a deal," or something along those lines, or "Hell yeah," or because you don't even need when it comes to money, you don't need to spell a reason out. But they had to. They had to give him a reason, and it's like, yeah, because you're trying to make him the good guy. He goes into people's minds and steals their secrets.
Well, you could just say he messed with them, because he also mentioned that he had done Inception before doing that Inception.
Yeah, he went and he fucked his wife's mind up. So she ended up killing herself because she thought that the real world was the fake world and the dream world was the real world or something like that. He screwed with her head, and he said they did it in order to get they get to see his children again or whatever, and it's like, so he did this horrible thing, but yet he was still justified in that. And I'm like, this is so much
Yeah.
put into this character. I understand it's Leonardo DiCaprio and he needs to have some kind of character base because it's Leonardo DiCaprio. But and he's a good actor. I like all the stuff he's in. I was actually recommending today to you when I sent the message to saying that we should probably do Titanic at some point because we did the rest of his films. We didn't do the Basketball Diaries yet, but
I do want to ask you, let's talk just together, talk about the ending, because I didn't know that that's actually become such a big debate on the ending, but it is left in that way so that you can determine yourself how you feel it ended.
well, it fades to black and it's already starting to fall.
But does it fall? That's the thing. Is it just the desire to want to fall that makes it stumble within the dream, but then it gets back on because of the fact that it can't fall?
Did they show evidence of that happening in the movie?
I don't know, but did they show it actually falling? That's the thing.
Because they never showed evidence of it almost falling and then fixing itself. That's never been shown in the movie. Not saying that you're wrong, but I'm one of those who are like, if it's going to be one of the rules, you have to establish it as one of the rules.
So you feel that he did get out?
I think that he was actually seeing his children. He got everything. He did his job and he got paid.
Okay. So I feel that he didn't get out.
But there we go. This is what they're talking about. And this is how wars start.
Oh. No, it's because people take it personal. It's good because it leads to it's the same thing with me with Reservoir Dogs. I can argue Reservoir Dogs, but it just leaves this open discussion that can then make you wonder, how would this thing continue? How would the story continue? So, for instance, let me tell you. I'm gonna bring out Reservoir Dogs, because I know you're familiar with the movie.
Yes. I almost had you do that instead of doing The Departed, because I was going to do two Michael Madsen movies.
I'm glad you chose The Departed because I don't really like Reservoir Dogs. But I want to ask you a question: did they all die in the end?
I haven't seen it in so long. I don't remember the cliffhanger. I just remember Michael Madsen's character dancing around, having a good time while torturing somebody, and I think I've only seen it once, honestly.
So what I get at here is that I think it's Steve Buscemi's character is Mr. Pink is his name.
Yeah.
And there's a point where he goes running outside and you don't see him anymore. But what you hear a cop screaming, you hear gunshots. And you see everyone else does die. And the argument is everyone dies. And I'm sitting there going, I don't think everyone died. I believe Mr. Pink got away because you don't see him dead. You hear gunshots, but that doesn't mean they hit him. He could have then, as soon as the shooting started, given up, but we don't know. And this is the same kind of with Inception. Is I looked as it didn't officially fall, so most likely he'd still the goal the point is who gets to where people are saying he's still in, others are saying he's out. And
so what do you think? Everybody else woke up on the airplane except Cobb, and he's just like in a vegetative state?
Yes, it could be.
Huh.
But because he wants to get out, he is going to wake up as if he did, or he's going to think he woke up as if he did wake up in the plane.
Well, when they do part 2 where they go in to save him, imagine if they did like a part 2 and that was the whole movie.
Inception Redemption.
Yeah. They give you like another one of these sad sequels where it's like they're like, oh, we're gonna go in there and like we're gonna do something, and I don't know. They when we watched Independence Day Resurgence, imagine they just go like that on it, or it's just they just slap it together. It's like they follow a formula. Like, let's do exactly like they did in the first movie, except we'll just change the actors.
See, I like that. I like it when they do that kind of open-ended ending. They a lot of stuff is finalized. The main stuff is finalized, but it leaves that kind of cliffhanger for you to decide. And then you have to discuss with other people to see what they think and agree to disagree on it sometimes. I think that's really cool. Really cool when they do that.
It's cool when movies leave certain things open, like the end of The Sopranos. Does Tony get shot, or does he shoot them? Does nothing happen? Does the place get robbed? What happens? They just end it where somebody, like, you hear the door, the ting, like the bell of the door opening, and you see Tony look up, and it goes to black.
Yeah.
Which if you've never seen it, it's supposed to be one of the most disappointing endings to a series ever. I think that they should say that he got killed, because in this way, if they ever do a reunion movie or anything like that, they could, explain why he's not there, because the actor passed.
Well, because people want closure.
Yeah. Well, they did a prequel movie, which I never watched, and I was going to try to find it to really watch it because I really enjoyed The Sopranos, but I got told it's not worth my time tracking down. So I'm like, okay, never mind. It was like literally a made-for-TV style version of a show that was on TV. Like it just, yeah, that's what I was told. I don't know. Maybe it's the greatest thing ever. If I'm wrong, leave it in the comments.
All right, so getting back to Inception, I think we have to get to the thumbs up or thumbs down, Ben.
Oh, Inception gets a thumbs up.
Absolutely thumbs up. I mean, it has to be because it was my favorite movie of all time.
It's my 4K wish list. So when I see it at like when they do their buy 3 for 33 price sale again or something like that, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. All right, so we're ready for the next one?
Yes, we are.
And here it comes.
Is it up?
It's up.
Okay, I got the script in front of it. Okay. Tenet is a 2020 science fiction action thriller written and directed by Christopher Nolan. The film stars John David Washington as CIA operative as Ace. Oh my God, I'm like ruining this. Let me try it again. The film stars John David Washington as a CIA operative known only as the protagonist, who becomes involved with a secretive organization attempting to prevent a future war through the use of time inversion, a technology that allows objects and people to move backwards through time. Paired with Neil, played by Robert Pattinson, a stylish handler with mysterious moves, the protagonist races against time in both directions to stop a catastrophe that already happened or might. With this complex structure, inverted fight scenes, and thundering Ludwig oh my God, I'm German and I can't even pronounce this. Göransson score, Tenet polarized audiences and critics alike. Released during the COVID pandemic, it became a unique theatrical experience and a litmus test of how much plot a viewer can withstand before giving up entirely. Still, it has since earned a cult following for its ambition, audacity, and Nolan's refusal to explain anything ever. Dude, that is the script that ChatGPT hates this movie.
What about that?
I do too.
Oh, wow.
I could not stand this freaking film. I'm watching it, and it's just conversation after conversation after conversation. And everybody talks like this. And they're talking very quietly and very fast about a whole bunch of stuff that if you don't understand and you don't pay attention, you're never going to understand what the whole movie's about. So you're going, better pay attention. Oh, you missed something there. You're going to gotta go and hit reverse. You're going to go and hit rewind so you can go and watch it again because you really need to know all this stuff or you're going to be completely confused while you're watching the movie, which I actually was able to put together what was happening in the film without being able to really pay attention to any single conversation because they're so boring. This guy was the I hate to pick. Maybe he's good in other movies. I don't know. Maybe I've seen him in other stuff. John David Washington bored me to tears. I'm like, there were 2 fight scenes I got into, and the rest of it was just 2.5 hours of me just looking at the clock, waiting this thing out, reminding myself why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the show. I have to continue. So I kept going and I finished the movie and I was so glad when I sped the movie up, which is never a good sign. And I finished the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that are my thoughts on Tenet. It's memorable. It's better than the Independence Day Resurgence was because I can't remember anything about Resurgence, but I do remember parts about Tenet.
Wow.
So I'll give it that. I do like the opening with the whole thing where they're at the musical thing and it gets like kind of invaded by these terrorist people. At least that's what I thought they were at the beginning. So the beginning of the movie is really good. And there are a couple good fight scenes. There are good parts to the movie. I just didn't like the fact that this guy was constantly going from talking from one person to talking to somebody else to talking to somebody else. I felt like I was watching West Wing. There was so much freaking talking in this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it means. What ChatGPT meant by saying it's willing to it's seeing how much it's a litmus test to see how much plot a viewer can withstand. And I'm like, yeah, it's just there's all this exposition and more exposition and more exposition. Show me, don't tell me. Stop telling me. Show something to me. You are a movie, a visual medium. This is not a radio show. Okay, so those are my thoughts on it. I found it boring. Go ahead. This is your favorite movie of all time?
It is actually my favorite movie. Yes, it is. No, it's fine. It's fine. No. So hold on here. So what I would say about this movie, because I'm kind of glad you said all that, because the way I was going to lead off with this is movie is a movie that if you're the kind of person that's going to, in the middle of the movie, just fit on your phone for a second, or if you're a kind of person that tends to maybe fall asleep for a little bit watching movies, or you have the movie going, you're listening to it, and you're doing the dishes, don't watch this movie. Because this is one of the movies that you have to sit there and focus on. You have to have your full focus on this movie. Because if not, you're not going to pick up everything about it, because there is just so much that's thrown at you, and there is so much talking that's thrown at you. But when you do, it's the whole traveling backwards and forwards, and how the backwards and forwards works together. That's what really I find fascinating about this movie. Just the thought of, you're basically able to, in a way, undo what's being done. And they bring that up in the movie about how it's going to affect others. Like, if you undo this, that undoing, how is that going to change what is going on? And the answer kind of is, well, they don't care, because
the whole thing of the whole idea behind the movie, it's a great idea.
Mhm.
Like when that one scene where the woman scientist is showing it to him, and she has like where the bullet like just like flies up into her hand.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a great scene, and I'm like, it gave me a lot of hope for what the movie's going to be. And then they continue to have a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah. But what the thing is with all this, if you're focusing on it, you'll start seeing the layers on layers that build. Like, and the best example of this is the car chase scene, where you start the first time you're watching this car chase scene, it you understand what's going on, but not every aspect of it. Because when you see that car that's already wrecked and then it flips over and starts going, you have no idea at that point how it connects. But as you keep going, the layers and layers add to it. It's like putting the pieces to the puzzle. And then eventually you have all the pieces in front of you. And another good example of this was in the airport scene, the fight scene in the airport, where you think he's being hostile, but really he's being protective when you watch it in the other way around, and you pick up on the partner, why he didn't do what he was going to do. And I'm trying to do it without really spoiling anything. What he planned to do originally, and I believe said that he did with that person. So um I'm sure you noticed, if you look the name of the movie forwards and backwards at the same. I mean, that one's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Which really gives a sign of what this movie does. What really interested me is I saw the ad for this in the theater, and it had the scene where the bullet holes were in the window, and they asked you what happened here, and he said it hasn't happened yet. And I think that's all the ad really was. And I was like, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be something different.
I will say this though, like there's another movie that runs backwards that I absolutely hate, Memento.
It's
Better than Memento. No.
Memento is good for one watch, but after that, there's not much really worth watching. And Tenet is kind of the same, where it's good for that first watch. I think watching it multiple times, you have to give yourself a break between watches with it, not only because there's so much to it, but because you're gonna know and remember everything that's kind of going on with it.
It's like watching The Village for a second time. You're gonna know. Well, I know that they're in a nature. Oh shoot, I'm gonna ruin it. I was about to. I'm sorry, folks. I try to remember to edit that. I probably won't though.
That's okay. That's okay. If you're thinking about watching The Village, don't.
No, I like The Village. I really did like it. I thought it was really good.
I could.
It's just once you watch it once, you can't watch it again. That's the only problem with it.
I think the problem with The Village is, I think it was the writer and director. I don't like his stuff at all.
Oh, and like Shyamalan Bing Dong. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like any of his movies really, except for I think he did Sixth Sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think that's he's okay. So I don't want to tangent, but I'm tangenting. He's like Kevin Smith with me. The very first, and maybe you could say Seth Rogen at this point, because Seth Rogen's first movie was A 40-Year-Old Virgin, I believe. Their very first movie is definitely worth watching. Everything after that, just throw it in the dumpster.
Mm. Okay.
That's my take on it. So, but yeah, getting back to Tenet, it's definitely something you're going to want to, if you watch it and you like it, give it
an acquired taste.
well, yeah, it's acquired taste, but give it a couple years before you decide to rewatch it again.
Okay. But
So
if I ever do, I'll give it a couple of years.
Yeah. So
Cool.
So I go ahead and say it, Ben. Go ahead. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
For Tenet, that's a thumbs down.
Okay, and definitely a thumbs up for me. Which is funny because I think if we go back to yours, I wasn't very big on Donnie Brasco, but The Departed wasn't bad. So we both had, out of our list, we both had one that we liked and one that we didn't like from the other person.
You know, I think we just both really like Leonardo DiCaprio. We think he's hot.
I don't know if it's that. It might be
He's so dreamy.
it might be Michael Caine that does it.
Yeah, it's like okay.
He was Departed, right? Or no, he wasn't Departed. Right?
He wasn't in Departed. No, he wasn't. It was Marky Mark you were thinking about.
Okay, yes, Marky. It's Marky Mark and Michael Caine sandwich that does it for me.
Well, I have a movie that I am going to review, and it's a mystery that I'm. Mike, if you want to take some guesses, I have to go use the bathroom real quick. So I'm going to go and give you a hint. The girl from Peanut Butter Falcon signs a contract, and suddenly furniture becomes optional. So why don't you mull it around and think? Tell the audience what you think it's going to be, and I'll be right back.
Okay, so if this is a movie that Ben is going to do, and it's about a lady as the main character, furniture is optional, but it sounds like she definitely is going to want furniture, and she's probably going to be very high class stuck up. So to me, and it sounds like it's a movie that Ben would watch and enjoy and love and probably watch multiple times in a day if he feels like he wants to bring it out to do a special review of it. It's definitely something that he loved and probably has watched 3 times today. So that leads me to believe his movie is most likely going to be Barbie. So let's find out if it is Barbie, because I know that's a special movie to Ben.
Do you not know who's in Barbie? Barbie, that's Margot Robbie. She was not in Peanut Butter Falcon.
I don't know. I don't remember with the lady that was in Peanut Butter Falcon. I'm not good with like names of actors and actresses.
So in the movie Peanut Butter Falcon, you got our main character who is mentally disabled and he wants to be a wrestler. And there's that girl who worked at the home who later joined them on their adventure down to the wrestling school.
Yeah, I don't know who she is. Okay, so just to let you know, just to be real with you.
Yep.
Saltwater Redneck is to me the Sandman guy. I don't know he's just the Sandman guy. Every time
I don't know what his name is. I remember him as being the guy from Wings. So okay. He's Lloyd from Wings, as far as I'm concerned.
And I don't Shayla. You said something about Shayla LaBeouf. You don't like Shayla. I don't even know what Shayla LaBeouf is in.
I actually liked him in Peanut Butter Falcon. Shia LaBeouf, he was in one of the newer Indiana Jones.
Okay.
When I just saw, as soon as I saw him in the new Indiana Jones movie, I'm like, oh, he looks like a prick. I just didn't like him.
There's a guy, and there's 2 guys that that I always got confused, and Maria had to correct me. I'd always like the guy from Transformers, that plays Sam Witwicky. Okay, so I would watch an ad, we watched an ad for, I think it was a movie, Thank You for Your Service is the name of it. And I'm gonna look this up really quick because I looked at Maria. I go, hey, that's the guy from Transformers. And she goes, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, because it looks like it to me. And she's really good at recognizing people and knowing who they are. And then another ad came on, and I go, hey, that's the guy from Transformers. She goes, no, it's not. It's the guy from Thank You for Your Service. And then another ad came a little later, and I go, okay, that's the guy from Thank You for Your Service. She goes, no, it's the guy from Transformers. I couldn't get it right.
I don't think he looks like anybody else. There are some guys who I do get them confused all the time, and he's not one of them. I always know Shia LaBeouf, unfortunately. He's from Disney. He's one of the Disney guys. He's from the show. I think he was from Even Steven or something. So he was. He's been around for a minute. He's another one of these Disney kids. I wonder what hell he went through going through Disney. They all went through some version of hell over there. So. I mean, look what the hell happened to Miley Cyrus. She comes out of there, and all of a sudden, she becomes a sex creative person and gets all these tattoos and shit. And she's like, she could not wait to shed the Hannah Montana thing. And now here we are, 20 years later, and she's trying to do a Hannah Montana reunion.
So wait a second here. So this guy is actually in Transformers, also.
Yeah.
Please tell me he's not the Sam Witwicky guy, is he?
I think that was his character's name. I only watched the live action Transformers one time.
Dude, I didn't even know that was him.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay, and I'm talking about the Transformers guy, not even knowing that's Shia LaBeouf.
I hated the Transformers movie so much that having even a hot chick in it, nothing did it for me. I'm like, you are ruining my favorite cartoon of all time. You are just shitting all over it. I don't want to watch this ever again, and I refuse to watch any more of the live action ones. I've seen it in Goodwill so many times. Dude, I own a copy of fucking Twilight, and I refuse to buy the Transformers movie. So
I'm just in shock because when I was mentioning Transformers, I wasn't even thinking that was that guy. I was just using that as the example, and it happens to be that guy, dude. This is creepy.
Yep.
So
anyways,
yeah,
the girl that was
Barbie.
Yeah, the girl that was in the movie, her name is Dakota Johnson.
Okay.
So it's gonna take me a second to put the graphic up because I'm gonna have to read the script first because I think the script is gonna hit harder.
Okay. So this is a Ben Does It, so you don't have to?
Yeah, this is the mystery one, and your guess was the Barbie movie because you have no idea who did it. Okay.
Yes.
I kind of wish I did the Barbie movie now.
Well, hold on, wait a second here. So are you trying to say it's not the Barbie movie?
It is not the Barbie movie.
I don't believe you.
The Barbie movie this Barbie movie stars Margot Robbie. This movie stars Dakota Johnson. Okay, so they are totally different women. One is blonde and one is a brunette. They're both attractive.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Because it could still possibly be the Barbie movie. I'm still holding my breath and hoping that it in the end, you do surprise me that all of a sudden that it is the Barbie movie. So, but we'll go ahead and see. So Ben, do me a favor. Why don't we just do this? Why don't you share your screen and show us what movie it is?
No, but I want to do this.
Oh, great. There you go, Ben. You shared your screen. Thank you. Oh, it's the Barbie movie.
Yes, because I can't tell the difference between a blonde actress and brunette.
The whole time I was rambling, I was trying to find a picture that I could actually use, and now they've got it's a fair use at the bottom of it.
All right, so like I said, I'm gonna wait on putting a graphic up until I've read the description because I can't do both at the same time.
Okay, all right, go for it.
All right. 50 Shades of Grey is a 2015 American erotic romantic drama directed by Sam Taylor Johnson based on the novel by E.L. James. The film stars Dakota Johnson as Anastasia Steele, a shy and bookish college senior who enters a complex relationship with Christian Grey, played by Jamie Dornan, a wealthy entrepreneur with a taste for dominance and control. Their connection quickly moves from curiosity to contract as Anna is introduced to the Christian's world of BDSM, complete with negotiations, safe words, and an absurd amount of money spent on interior decorating. Despite mixed to negative reviews from critics, the film was a massive box office success, grossing over $570 million worldwide. It sparked debates over consent, power dynamics, and romanticized control, while also launching a franchise that would include 2 sequels. While heavily sanitized compared to the book, the film retains its signature blend of melodrama and awkward elevator tension. This movie is like a legendary one of those movies that you hear about and you're like, it's the movie is literally about a guy who was abused as a child, and it led to him having these things where he has these sexual kinks that are very extreme, and he ends up meeting this girl. So Anastasia is a journalism student, and one of her classmates, her roommate, has an assignment to go visit to interview this Christian Grey, and she's sick or whatever. So Anastasia has to fill in, and he's smitten with her. And he all of a sudden starts sending her gifts and showing her attention, and then one thing leads to another, and they end up hanging out, and he can't he has these strange rules. It's the whole movie, the whole trilogy. I didn't watch the whole trilogy, but from when I pick it up, the whole trilogy is her trying to fix him. And it's one of those movies where if lustful movies were a drug, this would be one of the stronger ones, because it's very, very sexual in a lot of ways. I thought it was actually a good movie. I thought that, some of the stuff, you could have cut out a lot of the sexual stuff and probably cut a half an hour out of the film, and not even hurt the story at all, actually. And it's a story about somebody who, they do touch a little bit on his past, and they probably do more of that in the next movies. But from what I saw, it was it's not a movie about it's not a movie without substance. It's got substance to it. There's actually a story here. There's character development here. Whether or not Anastasia Steele's character had good character development, I don't know, because she went from being this clean girl to all of a sudden she's doing some pretty wild stuff in the movie. And they said that the movie's tame compared to the book. I could just imagine what the book's like. Yeah, it's not a movie for everybody. It's not a movie for people who are squeamish. It's not a movie for most people, honestly. But I do, like I said, it's not horrible. It's not actually, like I said, it's actually a good film if you get past the fact that there's a lot of parts that people are going to be like, oh, I don't want that on my TV. Michael, any thoughts?
Yeah. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to say this with 100% seriousness. This is not a joke when I say it. I wish you would have done Barbie instead.
First with the build-up you gave it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the 50 Shades of Grey. I've heard enough about it to know that I've generated my feelings on it, and also kind of the ridiculousness of how people got so obsessed with it, especially.
Yeah, that's another thing. I don't see where people got obsessed about it.
And I think it's caused confusion in a certain lifestyle. But it's just it's weird because a lot of women are like, I want a guy that's like this. That it's kind of damaged a certain type of life, and I don't really want to get into this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it falls under that kind of fantasy. I saw that like watching it. I'm like, this is going to be for like because the stories were that women were watching this, filling the theater up, and they said that the seats were wet afterwards. Literally was stories I was hearing about this film, and I'm watching, and I'm like, if anything, the girl is they show more of her than anything, and it's literally just Dakota Johnson naked for a good chunk of the film.
See, okay, so I'm gonna go into what I don't really want to go into. Um, in a discussion I had with Maria at one point. I told her one time basically that I am more of a dominant person. Um, and she took that as saying, I'm going to tie you up and beat you.
Oh Jesus!
And I'm like, no, that's the misconception with this, lifestyle of a dominant, submissive lifestyle is that's what it is, and that's what it leads to, and that's what it isn't. There are people that do get into that whole bondage and beating and driving over people with snowplow, but that's not what it is, and that's I think 50 Shades of Grey really did a lot of damage to that, and really kind of screwed up the image that people have of this. So yeah, so that's why I'm serious when I say I wish he did Barbie.
Uh, well, maybe next time. Jeez. You know what? I had 3 different movies I was gonna pick from, and I thought this was the safest one of the 3.
Yeah, it's okay. It's life. It's just me.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this one here, maybe you'll just go and like laugh at me for watching this movie that I think it's kind of considered to be a chick film, like
Uh-huh.
or a chick film, a chick
Chick
like
flick.
like a chick flick, but like a chick flick in the level of like are you looking at the naked girls in Animal House? No, of course not.
Well, evidently, what you're saying about the seats,
Or Porky's.
no chick flick, I guess.
Well, yeah, because like Dakota Johnson, she's gorgeous.
Mhm.
I'm like, holy shit, she looks really fucking good. Like, this was the girl who was like in Peanut Butter Falcon, really? It's like, I didn't even know it was her until like I looked her up after watching this, and I'm like, oh shoot, she was in Peanut Butter Falcon. Oh my god,
Mhm. Mhm.
they go from like this one character to this other extreme. It just shows. I think it shows a lot for her range. Honestly, I my thoughts on the movie as for showing off like that like showing off like a bad part of that kind of lifestyle. I just thought like anybody who watches that, anyone who watches that, they want somebody like him. I'm like, what's wrong with you? He's so mentally, there's something wrong with him in the head.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, but he's got the money and we can go on helicopter rides. And I'm like, yeah, but there's plenty of billionaires out there who aren't going to do any of this stuff.
Mhm.
You know, you think Elon Musk and his wife are doing this shit at home? No. You might be doing it to him. Because that might be, he might have the kink where he wants to give up controls. And that's another thing. He's a billionaire, right?
Mhm.
Usually the rich guys are the ones who want to give control up. Because
Um,
they're making decisions all day. They're in control all day. Let me be the one who's getting bossed around for a little while.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that, what you just said, on the ground that
This stuff.
somebody recently got arrested for doing stuff like what we're talking about, but mostly with underage people.
Mm.
So
Well,
yeah,
that was my surprise movie. I'm sorry it wasn't Barbie. Maybe next time.
hopefully it will be. So I got, if you want me to chime in my feelings on it,
Okay, you got more? Go ahead.
Ben did it, so I definitely don't have to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, I now know who Dakota Johnson is.
Yeah, and I know that if next time I watch Peanut Butter Falcon, I can tell Maria That's the guy from Transformers, and I'll actually be right.
That's the guy from Transformers, and that's the chick from those 50 Shades movies because she's in all three of them.
But she hasn't seen the 50 Shades movies.
Yeah.
Neither have I. So, and I think she watched Twilight. She watched the 3 Twilight films. She dragged me to the 3rd one because she needed someone to go to.
My feeling with Twilight is I figured we might at some point like make fun of it, and if I wanted to make clips about it, I have the movies to pull from. I've seen them. I wanted to just see what the whole thing was about. I'll watch movies that I normally wouldn't watch just because there's a big hubbub about it. Like, now that you bring up Barbie, there actually was a huge hubbub about it. We probably should do that movie, or at least maybe I should do the movie, but I'd rather we both did it. We should do Barbie and G.I. Joe the same week.
Barbie and G.I. Joe. Well, why not Barbie and Transformers?
No, because G.I. Joe and Barbie were for both 2 different sides of the same line.
That's true. And they also kind of dated each other.
Yeah.
If you had if your sister.
Well, yeah. Like well, not in the cartoons. Like some nerds like that never happens. Like, no, I'm talking about if you had the toys, they would date each other.
I think the whole thing about Barbie and G.I. Joe dating with Barbie be like, "Hey, Duke, you want to go on a date? Look, lady, I only come up to about your waist. That's perfect, Duke. Let's do that date now." I think that's what it was all about.
Well, it was like they're from the same company. I'm gonna look up.
Yeah.
Robot Chicken. I think there's like a Barbie Robot Chicken thing. Barbie G.I. Joe. Nothing specific about it. Never mind. Okay. I was looking to see if there was a video about it. Because I was remembering, like, didn't Robot Chicken do something with this? But might have been an episode of Family Guy. Then they're from like they're almost the same people. But yeah, that was my surprise movie. Surprise!
And I would like to make an announcement. This episode has been all over the place.
Yeah. We've been in this episode, it feels like a movie. We've been doing this long enough. In this episode, we've covered going backwards in time, and we've covered going in and out of dreams, and we've covered why you need to sign a contract when you need to have a relationship with somebody nowadays, because that was a big part of the movie. And then also the K-pop and all that. But Mike, what are we covering next week?
So next week, okay. Next week is going to be fun because we're going to talk. The title is "How Did I Not Die from This?"
When I get to repurpose my church's sermon bumper.
Yeah. So this is going to be dumb things that we did as kids that were probably pretty dangerous or stupid to do.
So there's going to be stuff like, yeah, if you ever had those situations where like, how the hell did I make it through that? Like,
yeah.
And I'm not talking about like you had to deal with your in-laws or something. I'm talking about like a car almost hit you, or the plane almost crashed, or
the plane almost hit you while you're in the car.
Yes, while on a boat.
On a boat, yeah.
Subway.
You were in a hovercraft. You're going through a subway?
Wasn't that the story that I've never seen the movie Throw Mama from the Train, but wasn't the whole movie about the fact that she had life insurance, but if she died from being thrown from a train, the life insurance paid double? And then the whole reason.
I don't know because I haven't seen that movie, so I think that's one we're going to have to watch.
We could do that one, and we could do like The Great Outdoors or something, because I haven't seen that either.
Oh, I've seen The Great Outdoors many times.
How about Plane, Trains, and Automobiles?
That one I haven't actually seen. I've seen parts of it, but they both have trains in them, so that sounds like a good connection.
Okay, because we'll do that, because Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of the few Thanksgiving movies.
Yes.
So maybe we should hold that off till November. We're actually planning into November right now, folks. So we got stuff coming.
We've got a whole bunch of stuff coming.
And like we're gonna be planning for October. We're gonna be at least two. I had the idea of we do 1 week of my two picks for horror films and your 2 picks for horror films the next week. Well, then 2 weeks.
I'm all for that.
And yeah, so that one, like, I'm thinking I'm gonna do a slasher film and a monster movie. So we'll figure it out.
I've already got my 2 picked, and I'll let you know what they are when we get there.
Okay. Sounds good. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
There is nothing else to talk about.
All right, folks. Mike, you want the last word?
I absolutely do want the last word. Christopher Nolan.